What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. It's been a little bit since we've done a news video / discussion, and we're gonna do both because we have reveals for the 2022 Megatins, and I'm actually not that excited. This is a bit deflating for me personally, but let's go over the reveals and why I feel that way. Diviner of Herald, which I expected in here. Branded opening, top end the reprints. Armed Dragon level 10 for the 5 people who thought this would be the better variant of Dragon Link. DPE after Verte's band. And the one confirmation that I am enjoying because I'm squinting my eyes and it looks like it is a secret rare Dark Magician Girl and then a trap that I'm not familiar with, so maybe one of the new cards or themings. But Dark Magician Girl here being secret, I do think is good for the casual bait of the 10s and also not the hardest ratio in the world to get for collectors. It's a decent thing that gives back to the 10s when you're not doing promos. Oh, that word that Konami hasn't done in forever that used to go hand in hand with 10s. So why I'm not overall excited is some big things are missing, and for a poster reveal, you would expect banger reprints like Pot of Prosperity maybe, but that is oddly missing, and what they did in previous years, that makes it very scary. So that's the news portion if you were here only for that, but let's go into the discussion and my thoughts on the 10 so far, because if you didn't know, we have amazing reveals that were already there, such as Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, Ash Blossom Joyous Spring, Lightning Storm, the Miru, Forbidden Droplet, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, and more. Not me, but just there's extras to come, they're claiming. So they've really hyped up these 10s because the sets inside are Lightning Underdrive, Yawn of Majesty, Blazing Dumpster Fire, which only had Pot of Prosperity, and Burst of Destiny. Slash more once again, which could be side sets, could be structure decks, which I actually am a huge fan of the structure deck cards being reprinted in here. It stops the value from going absurd later and them just re-waving unlimited versions that end up stuck on shelves for a while. I actually do like it being in here, where a lot of people were critical of that, but I don't like that being the only extra value, which is where this really comes in. Now we do know that Moyi is slated for Mavens, and sometimes Konami likes to do this mix and match of, oh, buy this product combined with this product later, so Moyi could end up like a double down reprint or could not be here at all. But we did see a spoiler leak in terms of a secret rare Sword Soul in somebody's Legendary Duelist Season 3 promo packs appeared on accident, so Sword Soul will have a place in the 10s, it does seem. But when we're looking through this setup, there's a couple ways this can go. Last year was a colossal failure. At first, it was hyped up, the value was huge, and then, wait, where's Droplet? Where's Lightning Storm? Where's all these? Oh, well, it has Crossout Designator and it was way overhyped and then it fell out. You know what was also overhyped at first and crashed? Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, until it had a banless twist and entire format to it, and then helped this product sell like 6 months later if you diamond hands onto it, and now it's very successful thanks to that. But one thing that Konami did that I actually do like is double down reprints. There's a difference between going, that reprint was so good, let's do it again, and just reprinting something twice so that it stays down in value for a while but can still gain value later. Apollos is a perfect example of that. We thought it wouldn't be in the 10s because it was already slated for Gold Series, yet it was in the 10s. That's why I say that Moyi isn't excluded from the 10s necessarily, but what is very scary is Pot of Prosperity not being on this poster that is meant to hype people up for this reveal. And this source, by the way, on the screen is Ready for Duel. They've been very consistent in providing good information typically, and I also recognize on the top right corner, I don't believe you can see that, there is Devere, which I also recognize that branding being in line with Yu-Gi-Oh! So I do believe that this is fully sincere, serious, an actual source of what this is. But the other way the 10s could go, 2019, it's not the same model as the 10s now. They had promos, and it also had a really good amount of the cards inside that people thought might not end up in the 10s or yanked. But I think they're going to do a hybrid model of pulling some things out because they've loaded it so extra with all these and they're patting themselves on the shoulder despite seeing how bad these fell out when they did not meet expectations. And my first thought definitely again goes towards Pot of Prosperity. If this is missing, it's a giant stinker in terms of, wow, they really just pulled that value out to probably sell Battles of Legend and short print it, and just, I really hate that cycle when Konami starts to get that way, because it's not always that way. 2 previous years of 10s prove that they're willing to do those double down reprints and pull only certain stuff other places while doing a really good job on making sure the 10s have value. So I feel like to ring it in here, the 10s are going to have their value for sure, because they're doing all these extra reprints. Although Droplet got snuck into the Water Duels pack and still didn't save it, it sunk. And then you have other things that are nice hand traps and solid values and hits, but versus estimated value pulled and being the flagship product of the year, this is going to be opened more than any singular product from the year, including Ghost from the Past 2, which has already bottomed out. So you have to think singles versus worth versus what do vendors get to buy these at when they're ripping them open from distro. You know, they have a better price point, and even with that MSRP raised on top of it this year too, which I believe is $2 extra at $21.99 per 10. So if you did early pre-sales, there's a couple pre-sales up still now. You can use code What's Good 5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly, but you're in at a higher price point at this point. I feel like you did good probably getting early, especially if you got in when the announcement was made, because the cheap ones disappeared at that point. But how will it age versus those discounts versus, you know, people actually paying full? It's usually not worth it to buy the product over the singles, but Konami's really trying. So I think if Pot of Prosperity ends up in here, it'll be one of those products that gets ripped open so much that it kind of starts to disappear and goes up quickly. We probably want to be dealing with waves with this. We haven't dealt with that in a product in a long time. Instead, Konami went delay, 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 and make sure it all gets out at once, which I do think is a better model, because that also did afflict these 10s meeting into no demand versus the sucked out hype. But again, I really want to see Prosperity in here, and I'm not just baby raging about that. Like, I get, look at these other sets, right? Like, we look at Dawn of Majesty, Aluber already got reprinted. What value does this actually give to the 10s? Zero. This entire set gives zero value to the 10s. The top cards are near $10. We have Diviner, which has peaked back to $60, and then, oh, the next max card is $10. You also look at this. Oh, wait, what is this thing? We have a $30 card this time. Oh, Underworld Goddess. And then everything is $5 and below. Hey, that's a store. Then Burst of Destiny had the most chock full value. Lots of things that are at 20s that will end up being like, hopefully, $5 and under within the 10. Small World, Lord of Heavenly Prison, things that have been good for a long time, but are also pretty darn affordable, about the price of a 10 at this point between all these top end cards that you have to case mine for multiple of. So again, people know it's reprint season. Prices have been cooling down a bit. This isn't reflective of how the sets were all along, because Burst of Destiny did something right to be worth more than MSRP, where a lot of other sets failed or had to use a chase lotto system card staple that you needed, like Pot of, you know, the Prosperity. But yeah, this card's got to be in here. I don't think they're going to. I really don't. That's my honest thought, is right now, seeing this poster, I don't, but I really hopium and copium that they do. Thanks for watching today's video. What do you think of the news dropping and the discussion? Do you think it'll be in there, or do you think it's like the last year, or is it the year before where they do go ahead and print it a couple of times? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation and news, and I'll keep it coming to you guys. As the 10s, they're pretty exciting, and they are a product to definitely watch, because multiple successful ones, then a really bad one. Konami doesn't like its flagship product being looked at as a bad one. Come on, Konami, just give it all at once. Just do it.